Random House Audio presents The Start Here Diet, 3 Simple Steps That Helped Me Transition from Fat to Slim for Life, by Tosca Reno, with Billie Fitzpatraick, read for you by Tosca Reno. Please note, this audio program contains a PDF that includes a weekly movement and eating plan, recipes, as well as various charts and lists. I dedicate this book to you, one of many who are searching for their best selves. You are not alone. The time is right to fly. I have been there too, and am in flight with joy over my new life and the possibility for you to have it too. Introduction. I'm Tosca Reno, the mom of 4 who went from fat and frumpy to slender, healthy, and sexy, all after age 40. You may know me as the author of the Eat Clean Diet franchise, the New York Times best-selling author of Your Best Body Now, or the creator of the diet lauded by celebrities such as Angelina Jolie, Nicole Kidman, and Halle Berry for helping them shed their post-baby weight. You may recognize me from Good Morning America, CBS Sunday Morning, Access Hollywood, or one of the hundreds of other media and personal appearances I make as I travel around the United States and Canada, inspiring people to lose weight, get fit, and become healthier. If you're listening to this book, then you probably already know a little bit about me. But with all the time that I've spent on the road, I am just beginning to find out about you. I always assumed that the people who bought my books were those who mirror the person I am today, totally committed to a healthful lifestyle and the changes necessary to achieve it. But what I'm learning is that the majority of my books are purchased by people who are more like who I was when I began my journey. I didn't always look the way I do now. For years, I was a fragile pawn in my own yo-yo dieting nightmare, in which I spent the majority of my life starving myself, binging, and trying every diet known to mankind to lose weight and fit into my pre-kid jeans, all to no avail. I was 75 pounds heavier than I am now. Then I got a little thinner, and then got fat again. Up and down went the scale. I stayed in this limbo for more than 20 years before finally figuring out that I had the power to not only lose weight, but keep it off and get healthy. But, like most stories that seem to fit into neat nutshells, the version that I have told up until now only touched the surface of my experience. Indeed, the life I have described in my other books is a somewhat sanitized version of what really happened to me. What I've shared before only hints at the real struggle I went through and that millions of people, perhaps including you, still endure. And for reasons that will soon become clear, it is only now that I have the courage and power to dig deep and be fully honest about what had to change inside of me before I could truly transform my life. I hope that sharing my experience and my journey to a healthy weight will inspire you to travel the same road, the road to happiness, with the way you look and feel. Because to be truly successful in reshaping yourself is to find the why first. Why are you not at your ideal weight? That answer is paramount. It's not that I have some shocking tabloid tell-all to reveal. My story is epically relatable. Nearly 130 million people in the United States alone live just like I did, terrified of making changes without the know-how to stop their self-sabotaging behaviors. I am not only a former fat girl, a woman who stayed up late to avoid being caught eating ice cream and peanut butter and hunks of cheese. I am also a woman who was tangled up in a bad relationship and so many folds of fat that I no longer knew who I was. I had lost a sense of where I ended and others began. Sound familiar? I was a member of what I fondly call the invisible millions. I couldn't see myself clearly. I felt lost and humiliated. I was hiding from myself. Most stories that have at their heart the loss of our true selves have one of 2 endings. We either find ourselves or we continue to muddle through our lives, sad, powerless, and often very, very overweight and very, very sick. I found myself, but not without wrestling with what was at the center of my fear of change. At first, I had no power to stop eating certain foods that were sabotaging my life and my health. I was so fearful of adjusting even the slightest thing in my day that instead I stayed immobile, stuck physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Then, slowly, I gained clarity and courage. I began to feel less threatened by small changes. I began to listen to another voice within me. If you too belong to the invisible millions, if you too can't seem to move off the couch, literally and metaphorically, I hope that my full story and the Start Here process for change will finally inspire in you the confidence and courage to change your life forever. I hope it is the spark for your personal renovation. If I can do it, you can do it. The Start Here diet is a simple 3-step process. It's gentle and easy and brought me out of my dark, lonely, and heavy place, the place where you must begin, too. Part 1, coming out of hiding, turns your focus inward. Many diets begin by asking you to identify your goals, such as the number of pounds you want to lose. My strategy is a bit different. I want you to focus on what's behind your weight gain and behind your desire to lose weight. No diet will ever be successful if you don't go to that place inside you, a place usually wrapped in pain, discomfort, shame, self-defeating habits, and fear. Unless you take care of this inner place, this inner fat person who is hiding from the world and herself or himself, then no matter what the diet, it will not work in the long run. And I am all about the long run. I am all about showing you how you can and will heal that inner place, that part of you where your gifts and secret strengths reside. As a former overweight person, I know what the prison of extra pounds does to the heart and the soul, never mind the body. And I know that for you to emancipate yourself from the prison of too much weight, to get in touch with the real you and the gifts that lie within you, you must face the intense fear and discomfort that surround you and that are presently dictating your life, though you may be unaware of this vice grip. Step 1 will help you do this. I call this step your dive inward. I will describe my own dive inward and then ask you to get in touch with your heart. Ask yourself some tough questions and find some ways to forgive yourself. Give yourself permission to move on and begin to dismantle the pain that keeps you in your prison. This first heart-focused step is not complicated, but some of the questions you will ask yourself and the changes they lead you to probably won't be easy. However, they are absolutely necessary and build a foundation from which you can take the subsequent 2 steps. Diving inward is the foundation for the beginning of your permanent weight loss. It is the step that will put you on the path to losing the 10, 20, 50, 100, or 200 pounds that have you locked up, unwell, and miserable. Diving inward is where I started my process. Part 2, losing weight and regaining yourself, lays out the details of the next 2 simple steps. Sometimes I even call them baby steps. Removing your hidden food, step 2, and moving a little, step 3, are rooted in gentleness and simplicity. I know neither of these steps asks you to do anything you can't do. Identifying your hidden foods is much simpler than it may sound. We all have foods in our kitchens that too often find their way to our plates. We know they are less healthy than they could be, and if you're honest with yourself, you know that these foods, or just one ingredient, are the ones you reach to for comfort. For me, it was peanut butter, which isn't inherently bad unless, like me, you're eating it late at night and straight out of the jar with a spoon, and ice cream. I reached for these foods when I was alone. I reached for them to give me pleasure, the pleasure and confidence I was missing in the rest of my day. Your hidden foods weigh you down physically and emotionally. clearly seeing the frequency with which they turn up in your diet and beginning to replace them with healthier options.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?